welcome back to Chip and Dip, your favorite channel on the internet. And today we're going to share some good news, because I think it's safe to say the past week has been pretty stressful for a lot of us. You know, we got the virus going around, and you know, people have to deal with working from home or going to work, and you know, it's a bad time for a lot of people. And honestly, we're not even hearing bad news. Like we're only hearing virus news, and it's getting very stressful. So I thought today I'd share with you guys some good news. And also I got some of the lighting fixed, since I'm probably going to be filming in here a bit more often. Alright, our first story today is JOANN Fabrics. They're handing out free fabric supplies at Curbside to anybody selling face masks at home. Masks at home. So it says, in a national emergency, some people's initial thoughts are to fight over toilet paper. Others, like Trina Branella, immediately went to leap the aid of those who were in the front lines of the crisis. Trina began constructing and sewing cloth masks for a project in India to help teenage cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy. Then, she wanted to donate more masks to workers at 4 local chemo centers in New Jersey, spurred on by a friend whose mother had cancer, and right now she's using a bandana. Cloth masks are useful because they keep your hands away from touching your nose and mouth. They can also contain sneezes, coughs, and protecting those around you who have vulnerable immune systems. But then she started running low on fabric, so she reached out to see if anybody could donate, and they couldn't. Coincidentally, the same day, JOANN Fabrics started their Curbside thing. So now they're working together to create masks for all types of people. The link to the rest of that story will be down in the description below. You should really check it out, it's pretty cool. Alright, next up. Wales is building a national forest that will span the length and width of the country. As a particularly mystical part of Great Britain that is home to a rich collection of folktale fables, Wales is exactly the place you'd want to go if you're looking to find an enchanted woodland. Now, a new initiative led by Welsh First Minister Clark Drakeford is set to turn a large part of Wales back into the kind of magical place described in their beloved history. The Welsh government is now working to plant a national forest that would run the length and width of the land, connecting existing protected woodland environments with large-scale tree planting projects meant to restore natural Wales and fight climate change. We have a responsibility to future generations to protect nature from the dangers of our changing climate, but a healthy natural environment will also offer protections to our communities from the dangers that we face ourselves, Drakeford said. Additionally, ancient hardwood forests of Europe provide other valuable ecosystem services, like storing carbon from the atmosphere in their roots. So anyways, that's about half of it. Again, everything's linked below. Go check them all out. We're doing some good news today. There's good in the world. Alright, next up, March 17th. In what's been called an unbelievable act of kindness, customers left a $2,500 tip for restaurant staffers before they closed up shop. So again, you know, a lot of places have been closing down, and you know, it's really bad. You know, we can't go out in public. Most restaurants are closed and they're only doing pickup, you know, and it's really driving a lot of places out of business. I mean, I was let go from my job, you know, this past week. It's really hurting a lot of people, and a lot of shops just might not be able to make it through. But the Coach's Bar and Grill in Columbus, Ohio, got a generous tip from a very nice person that will help them through this hard time. The restaurant was preparing to close up shop on Sunday evening after Governor Mike DeWine ordered all restaurants and bars to limit services to delivery and carry-out options as means of limiting potential infections. Despite how Coach's restaurant owner Barry Leonard says the order may provide a cause for concern in his business, he and his staffers were particularly heartened by a note that was left by their regular customers. The patron, a middle-aged man who insisted on remaining anonymous, left a $2,500 tip on a bill just totaling $29.75. In addition to requesting his identity remain a secret, he also asked for the hefty gratuity to be divided equally amongst the restaurant's 5 staffers. There were tears of joy, Leonard said. An unbelievable act of kindness on a particularly weird day. So again, good people do exist. They're still out there somewhere. Alright, next up we got world's second person cured of HIV. 40-year-old man is confirmed to be 30 months virus-free. A study of the second HIV patient to undergo successful stem cell transplantation from donors with an HIV-resistant gene finds that there were no active viral infection in the patient's blood 30 months after they stopped antiretroviral therapy. It's a hard word. Doctors, you know. Although there was no active viral infection in the patient's body, remnants of integrated HIV-1 DNA remained in tissue samples that were also found in the first patient to be cured of HIV. According to the case report published in the Lancet HIV Journal and presented at the CROI, the study of authors suggests that these are regarded as so-called fossils, as they are unlikely to be capable of producing the virus. So anyways, great news. HIV can be devastating for a lot of people, and we're on the edge of figuring out, we're on the way to curing it. We have 2 successful cures. Alright, our last story tonight involves a Jokester Brother. Jokester Brother brings Llama in a tuxedo to his sister's wedding to fulfill years-old sibling promise. Mendel Weinstock showed up to his sister Riva's wedding ceremony with a llama in tow. Not only that, the llama was wearing a tuxedo which he had custom made for just the occasion. Mendel says that he was fascinated by the amusing prank as means of fulfilling a 5-year-old promise to his sister. The 2 siblings had been on a road trip from Ohio again, to India in 2015 when, for one reason or another, Mendel joked that he was going to bring a llama to Riva's wedding. Since Riva was just 17 years old at the time with no concrete plans of marriage, she rolled her eyes and said that Mendel's llama would be invited to her wedding whenever it would be. After Riva got engaged in October, Mendel knew that he had to make good on his promise, so he reached out to a local farm and paid $400 to rent a sweet and well-behaved llama named Shaki for the duration of Riva's wedding. Ever since that day, I promised I would bring her a llama. I fulfilled the promise, Mendel told USA Today. She was shocked at first, but more impressed that I kept my promise from 5 years ago. To Mendel's delight, Shaki quickly became a beloved part of the wedding ceremony. In addition to the barnyard critter sitting politely through the wedding ceremony, he also posed for photos with the other wedding guests. Mendel later posted a photo of his sister's initial reaction to Shaki's arrival to Reddit, and it has since been shared thousands of times across social media. Although Riva was gracious for her brother's gag, she says she does plan on getting him back at his graduation ceremony from the University of Akron in the fall. Mendel has agreed that it is only fair, but he has requested that his sister refrain from pulling any kind of prank or surprise while his name is being called for his diploma. Alright, so that's our 5 stories today. How are you guys doing on the tips to, be better in quarantine? I know I started playing guitar as like a side thing, and it's going pretty well. I got blisters on my fingers, but it's making calluses. It's gonna grow stronger. Anyways, let me know what you're doing down in the comments below. Links to all these stories will be in the description. I got them all from the Good News Network, which is a site that only posts good news, and it's pretty cool. They have an app. I'm not sponsored by them, but it'd be pretty cool if I was. If you want more good news, download that app. Go check out some other videos if you want. They're pretty cool. If you're feeling depressed, during the quarantine, you can check out the other video I did Saturday. And that's about it. Thanks for watching. See you next week.